So reactor metal is chasing me, and when he touches me, oh god, okay, yeah, as you can see, it's definitely welcome back, guys, to another Roblox Studio tutorial. So today we're gonna do a tutorial that was a suggestion in one of my live stream, and it was like a jump scare tutorial, how to make a jump scare like in the horror games. So for example, if you played Mimic or something, the Mimic, or I think that one game is called Judy. You know how there's like jump scares. So how can you actually make it in your own game? So let's say you have a monster, right, in your game. You have a monster or a zombie or whatever that follows you. So like these two noobs, they'll follow you, right? But let's say you don't want to add these noobs, right? You want your own monster, your own character. So let's say you have your own character. Okay, let's say you have your own character. Let's see. Okay, let's use our load character plugin. Let's do my name. Let's say or actually should have oh yeah, hold a minute. What's it called again? Let's actually, I don't have this because the character of my YouTube channels isn't actually a real character or isn't a real avatar. So let's actually go to my toolbox because I have, okay, here. Reactive. Let's say we're gonna use this, right? This is our monster, Mr. Reactive Metal. The head is a bit glitched, but ignore that. So let's say this is our monster, right? So here, no, these aren't my models, by the way, but we'll be linking them in the description. We're only going to be using the scripts, the follow scripts inside of them. So they both have like follow script. I'm not sure. So this one is for R15, right? As you can tell, and this one is for R6. So let's say we play this. It will follow us. Both of the noobs should be following us. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, so this one. Okay, this one is following the other player, so that the other NPC. Okay, so this one is following us, and then this one looks like he's lost. Okay, now he's following the other NPC. Okay, whatever. But you get the idea. So they follow you. The R15 one is a bit buggy because I think I don't know, it probably just follows like the other NPC, the other humanoids. But I should follow the other players as well. But for now, we're gonna be using the R6 one just because we're using R6. So these two I'll be linking. I should be linking them in the description below. So we don't need this, but or actually, let me show you first. So if you want to use them in different characters, just use the script inside of them and then paste it wherever you need. So I think so. This one is, I'm not sure which one. So hold on. Oh, this one, the R15 one. For the R15, you might need to paste both of the scripts. I'm not sure because I think this one is the animation. Yeah, this one is the animation. This one is the follow script. And for this one, this is the R6 version. I don't think you need the animations. You just need the follow script because as long as your own monster that you want in your game, as long as it does animate, then it should work. I'm not really too I'm not an expert in all like these animation type of stuff in Roblox Studio, so I'm not really I really don't know all about that stuff. But as long as you have a working humanoid, basically, then it should work. Um, or if not, just paste the animation. Let's probably try and paste the animation script if it doesn't. If the animation, if your own monster doesn't animate. Sometimes it does have that bug. So let's delete both of these. Let's see if it follows us, and it should follow us. Oh, hold a minute. I think you might need. There's others. There's the other. So there's this one that also works. There's this one that also works. Hold a minute. So this one's R6 one. Let's see if this one. Because this one you need like all the different configurations and stuff. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. All script. This one I think is more simpler, so you don't need to worry. Let's put all of these away. Okay. Oh my god. Sorry for that. Okay, let's see. Oh no. Okay. Okay, it is following us. Okay, let's try to put delete all of this. I think this one that I just used, I will be linking it down in the description, so don't worry. Let's put this more in close to our spawn. Let's make a spawn here. So let's make it really close to our spawn, so it doesn't interfere with the other NPCs. And let's actually also put. So this is the one that we use. Let's also use the animate script, because our character wasn't animating, so we probably need that one too. So yeah, you do need the animate script if your character is animating. So I don't know if you saw it, but it was like moving without animation. So that's, you don't really want that. Okay, so now it works. Now it works. Okay, so now let's say we want it to kill us, right? So this is the monster, right? So reactive metal is following us, and he wants to kill us, right? How do we do that? So we basically just need a hitbox for the character, right? A hitbox, and whenever the player touches the hitbox, they get killed. We also don't want this, so you don't want like the NPC to spawn kill us. So we just need like to make something so they can't touch us. So let's make it like a higher platform here. Let's make this okay, where is it? Let's just make it anchored and stuff like that. Yeah, this is weird. Okay, whatever. But that is what it is, you know? Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. Alright. This is our spawn. And this is our character. So how do we make a hitbox for this I guess you can say NPC or monster? And okay, let's delete all of these. Now we don't need any of these. So let's say you want a hitbox. Okay. And whenever a player touches the hitbox, the player dies. But then you're also, of course, we will also want the jump scare to activate, right? You also want the jump scare to work. So let's go to the humanoid root part, because that's like the essential root of the humanoid, or basically the root part of the character. I mean, that's self-explanatory. Okay, let's insert a part here. Insert a part. This is gonna be the hitbox. And before, okay, yeah, let's make the hitbox. Oops, my bad. Change just the size of the part here. So like make it like this. Make it. I mean, make it as big as you want. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. So we'll do 0.9 just so you can see a bit of the box. So it's a bit. Oops. So it's a bit larger on the front. I think that's normal. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. It's a good hitbox. If a bit taller, okay. I think it's a bit on the side. Alright, that's good. So let's make it transparent. Let's make this can collide equals false. Anchor, we don't want to anchor. And the most important part we want is to make it connected to the humanoid part. So make it connected to when the character moves, right? We don't want to just stay in one place. So by this, we need a wheeled constraint, and then connect the part 0 to part, and part 1 to humanoid root part. So they're both connected. As you can see, they're both connected. So whenever the character moves, this hitbox will also move with it. So let's call this hitbox. Let's make a script inside of this. Alright. So before anything, actually let's make a, so when the player touches it, we want to kill the player, but also we want the jump scare to activate. So we also need a remote event. So actually we already made a remote event, but let's say you want to make a new remote event. You go insert a remote event, and then call it whatever, jump scare. Alright, so now we're on the script, right? So local hitbox, this is the hitbox script, equals script.parent. Hitbox.touch connect function, and then hit. So hit is the thing that touched the hitbox, right? Then press enter, like this. Okay, Alright, so you want to check if the thing that touched the hitbox is a player. Because sometimes it couldn't be a player. Sometimes it could be like another part. It could be a wall that touched the hitbox. So we don't want, or it could be the NPC itself, because the NPC is essentially touching the hitbox. The NPC itself is touching the hitbox because it's inside it, right? So you want to check if the thing that touched it, so hit, which is hit, if hit is part of a player or a player's character, because hit is basically, so when a player touches, okay, let me show you. So local player equals game dot players get player from character hit that parent. So if a player did touch it, in fact, the only thing that will touch it, the thing that will directly touch it, is a player's body part, and the body part is part of the player's character. So what we use here is if it is a player, right, hit that parent would essentially be the character, right? So body part, hit, and the parent of the body part, which is character. So if you can get a player from the character, which is the character of the player, which is hit.parent, then this value uh, would be valid. So it wouldn't be nil. Otherwise, if this isn't character at all, and if this is a player, the character doesn't belong to a character, then this value would be nil. So you can do if player does not equal nil, then, or we can really just do if player. So if player, if this value is valid, meaning if a player actually has touched the hitbox. So I hope that makes sense. Now, okay, so a player touched it. Now, before we do anything, let's kind of make a cooldown because we don't want it to, because when a player touches it, right, it doesn't only touch it once, it touches it multiple times. Pretty much touches it like, not infinitely, but it touches it a lot of times. It doesn't touch it only once. So we do want a cooldown anyways, and for other players as well, because it kind of makes sense. Because the monster can't kill more than 2 players at a time. We probably don't want that, honestly. So cooldown equals false. So let's make another cooldown. So if not cooldown, then. And also, let's see. Another thing we want to do is, because we are killing the player, we don't want the script to activate while the player is dead anyways, right? So we want to check if the player isn't dead, right? So let's actually make a variable. We can make it right here. So, okay, so local humanoid basically equals hit dot parent, which is character, or you can just do player dot character, and then dot humanoid. Okay, so if human dot health is greater than equal to, or is greater than 0, then we can finally kill the player. So we can do that many ways. We can just do human and take damage, or you can just do break joints. I'm not sure exactly. I forgot how to do that. Or just do humanoid.health. That's literally the easy way. Humanoid.health equals 0. If you just want the player to take damage but not get killed immediately, well, you kind of don't want to change the script, obviously, because you don't want the jump scare anyways. I don't know. Do you want the jump scare? I mean, that's a completely different tutorial anyways. So first we want to kill the player, right? Okay, humanoid.health equals 0. That makes the player's health go down automatically immediately to 0. So the player will die immediately. Alright. But obviously not the player itself, it's the humanoid of the character, which belongs to the player. I don't know. If I'm gonna be completely exact. But it is what it is. Okay. So we killed the player. Now what? Let's make a variable for the remote event. So local remote equals game.replicate.storage.jumpscare. So this is a remote event that we just made. And then you want to fire it. Oh, and by the way, for cooldown, I forgot. Oh my god, my bad. So if not cooldown, then so this is a cooldown for the player. So cooldown equals false. No, equals true. I mean, equals true. So there's a cooldown, right? And then we're gonna wait. Let's see. All right. So then we wait inside this other if statement. Inside of it, then wait. Like let's say wait 2. Wait. So the cooldown is gonna be 2 seconds. Then we're gonna cooldown equals false. We're gonna finish with the cooldown. So I think that's how it should work. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, good. Hold on, man. Did I? Actually, we might need to make this cooldown saying inside this. All right. So like this. That makes any sense. I don't know if you guys want spaces or just move all the spaces. Oh, not really like that. There you go. A bit more I don't know, a bit more neat, I guess. Not really. Kind of looks worse, but whatever. All right, it is what it is. Okay. Or all right, I think this is good enough. Okay, so all right. Okay, now actually we didn't use the remote event, so we need to fire the remote event. So remote, then fire client player. That's all you have to do. And yeah, that's pretty much all. Then we can work on the jump scare script. So for now, all we did is kill the player when we fire the remote event. But when we fire the remote event, we also want to trigger the jump scare. Okay, so let's say we want to make a jump scare, right? We want to make a jump scare. So let's make an area where the jump scare will occur. Let's make like a little camera scene type of thing. So what we want to do is actually kind of make like a little part, like a little scene basically. So let's make this black anchor. Okay, basically like this. Okay. So let's say this is your little camera scene. It is kind of too black, but I mean, you can do whatever you want with it after. But yeah, you can add stuff or just not have anything, honestly. You might not just want anything on it. Make sure. Or you can do, okay, we can also change the lighting, but only in the script. So, and for the player too. But you guys probably have, like, if you're making a horror game, you guys will probably have like a dark setting or something. A dark setting with low lighting or something like that. Basically, because it's a horror game. But whatever. Whatever. Let's put our character here. So this is gonna be the jump scare part for our. This is gonna be the scary part. Alright. Let's not put it too deep into it. Alright, so let's now make a part. This is gonna be our camera part. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna rotate like this. I'm not sure if it's facing the correct position, but it's whatever. So let's say this is our camera. Let's actually make this a bit transparent. The head is glitched, but it's whatever. Don't mind that. So the center should be something like this. Let's move it a little bit to the right, like this. All right, good enough. Good enough. We're gonna make it a bit close like this. Okay, good enough. So this is gonna be called our camera part. Call it the camera part. Camera part. All right, make this anchored. Can collide, whatever. You don't. It doesn't matter. Okay, so these are our camera part. Okay, let's now work on the local script for our jump scare. So we fired the jump scare remote event. Now let's go on starter UI and let's make a local script. So local, we're gonna make a variables. So we're gonna get the camera. The local cam equals game.workspace dot current camera. So this is what we'll be using to manipulate the camera. So we're gonna get the camera and then we're gonna put it here and then we're gonna like make it shake like this or wherever you want. But we're gonna make it shake so it has like the scary effect, the horror effect. You know what I mean? The thriller, the thrill, I guess you could say. All right. So now let's make a variable for the amount of time we want the jump scare to last. So let's say you want the jump scare to last like 5 seconds. So local or jump scare time or just jump time scare time equals 5 seconds. All right. I think that should be all. What else? And then let's make another one for the lighting. So we can have like a very scary, like a dark lighting, right? Dark lighting, so it looks so dark and then looks scary. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just a suggestion for myself. So let's do lighting. Lighting equals game.lighting. And then actually we're gonna use because we do want to change the brightness too. So you do want to insert like a color corrections property or something. I don't know, whatever this is. It's like an effect, basically a lighting effect. So add this, then we can change the lighting. So it's gonna kind of look like this. So we're gonna change the brightness. So we're gonna do like 0.5. So it's gonna look pretty dark. Maybe it's too dark, I think. Is it too dark? 0.1. 0.3. I think it's good enough. This is dark enough. Looks pretty scary. Like, looks like that. Okay. I'll set it back to normal. Okay. Alright. Now let's actually get the remote event that we fired from the hitbox script. So local remote first, or let's get the remote event variable. Game dot replicated storage dot jumpscare. Then we can get the remote event that when it's fired. So on client event connect function. But here and the player, yeah, there's no parameter we put here, so press enter. Okay, so we got the remote event that we fired from the script right here. So when you fired this to the client, we got it from the client, and yeah, we're gonna make the changes to activate or basically make the jump scare happen. All right. So first, let's change the camera type. So local, or not local, no. So that camera type equals enum dot camera type dot scriptable. So we can actually change it through script. You probably do need this in a repeat loop because whenever I try to make this just like once, so when I make it in one line, it doesn't really work. So you want to repeat this statement for some reason. I honestly don't know, but it works like that. So until so copy this, repeat, put this in a repeat loop, and then copy and paste this too. But then until this is, so put like 2 equal signs like this. So we're gonna repeat this statement until the camera type is officially scriptable. All right. So we can 100% assure you that the camera type will be scriptable after this repeat loop. Scriptable. Camera type is scriptable. All right. Camera type is scriptable. Now we can finally make changes. All right. So first, let's set the time. So we want the shake time to be 5 seconds. Okay. So we're gonna make a variable for the start time. So local start time equals tick. Now tick is basically kind of like a timestamp when during the script. So let's say this is the timestamp for the script, and this is before we shake the camera. This is before the jump scare occurs, the actual jump scare. Because we want to change the camera, we're gonna make it like a little shake effect for the camera, and we're gonna use a repeat loop for that. So it's better to use like a tick, which is a timestamp, so we can track the amount of time since we activated the jump scare, since we started shaking the camera. Okay, so now we can do the repeat loop for the camera shake. So repeat until, of course, it's the same thing here. Basically, now repeat loop, if you don't know what it is, as we're basically using it 2 times now. So repeat loop repeats is a loop until a certain condition has been met. That's literally all. All right, so we can do the second timestamp, which is our end time. So local end time, or I don't know if we can use local or equals to. So tick, okay, I'll explain that later. So end time is so start time, you have start time and end time. So timestamp for when it started, this will be the timestamp of when it should end, or it will eventually end, right? So it will be set when it officially should end. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know, it's kind of confusing. I'll explain later. Okay, so let's actually shake the camera. So local, we're gonna make random position values. So we're gonna make like position values around this area. So around this, around this area, and then I'm gonna make it shake, and then we're gonna make it shake like every millisecond, right? We're gonna make we're gonna make these changes for every millisecond, and so it can appear to have a little camera shake effect, right? So we're gonna change the position values for the camera, and then we're gonna do this every millisecond, basically. Not really millisecond. So we're gonna use like weights, right? And when we don't put something in this weight, it's gonna be like 0.00003 seconds. I'm not sure. It's a very short time. So we're gonna make these changes in a very short time, and then we're gonna repeat them, right? So we're gonna repeat them again and again, and so from that, it will appear to it will appear that the camera is shaking, basically. So that's why we're gonna use that. Alright, so now let's actually make the random position values. The local rand y, or rand x, let's start x, we'll map that random, and then we're going to do like one, for example, we're gonna choose like 150, negative 150 to 150, and then we're gonna divide this by 1000, because obviously 150 studs, that's way like off, right? We wanna use like, so if we divide, so let's say it's 150, right? And we divide that by, actually not divide by 100, divide by 1000, so it's gonna be 0.15 0.15 studs. So it's only going to be shaken minimally. I can't speak right now, sorry. But yeah. Now, the reason why we can't do from negative 0.15 to 0.15 is because math.random only works with integers. So that's why we have to use like really big numbers, then divide them by bigger numbers, basically, to get decimals. So yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, basically just copy and paste this for other position values. So x, y, and z. Then just change the variable name. And actually, by the way, I think, we won't really be using the position values. We're going to be using the rotation values, my bad. But you can still use position values, it's not wrong. But for this tutorial, it's better to use just rotation values. So we are going to be using angles. We're going to be using it as angles. Okay, so now camera, C-frame. Oh, I think I did forget to set the camera C-frame. So camera C-frame, let's actually, camera.C-frame equals, and then a camera part. So let's set, make the variable camera part local cam part. So that's where our scene this is where our scene is gonna be, equals game.workspace that camera part. So this is gonna be wherever your camera part is. So equals cam part dot C-frame. Hopefully this should be facing the front direction like this. All right, so now this is our initial position, right? And then we're gonna make it shake, the camera shake like this, okay? This is our initial position. This is before it starts, the camera starts shaking, before the repeat loop. Okay, now we can do camera.C-frame, cam.C-frame equals, and I don't think we should use equal, we can do camera.C-frame. So, and then we times that to the angles, so C-frame the angles. Or we can do, okay, let's keep it like that just because it looks more simpler. And then we're going to use multiply. So multiply is usually what you can use it for is when you're using it to add angles to your C-frame. I don't know how to explain it, but so let's say you do C-frame that angles, because that's what we're going to be using. And we're going to do math.rad, because when we're using angles, there's either degrees or radians. I don't know if you remember that in school. In this case, we want to use radians just because it's better. So we'll do rand x. Okay, I'm done. It's weird. Rand x. So rand x is the random x position, and in this case, it's going to be a random radian, right? A random angle. And I'm going to use this for every other position value. So we're gonna comma. Okay. Rand y. Oops. Rand y and then rand z. So random x angle, random y angle, and then random z angle. So it's going to be rotated on the x axis, rotated on the y axis, rotated on the z axis. But yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so we set the camera to the same initial position right here, but we're gonna add also the angle. So we're gonna rotate it like this. I mean, you can't really show you, but we're also gonna add the angles to it, so it will basically have a shaking effect, camera shake effect, and that's pretty much it. So we multiply this by C-frame.angles, and we add all our angles using math.rad, which basically converts the degrees, because I think by default it's going to be degrees, to radians. That's what math.rad does. All right, so until when? So what is the condition we want to make the jump scare finish? All right, it's pretty simple. So until end time, then it shows the end time right here. This is our end time minus start time. If end time minus start time is greater than equal to jump scare time, which is 5 seconds right here. So when this repeat loop reaches a certain point, the end time right here, which is this timestamp, if this timestamp reaches 5 seconds or more since the time has been started, since the timestamp for when it started, if it reaches 5 seconds since that time, then it will end, or more. If it reaches like 5.1 seconds, for example, then it'll also end too. So basically, if the time that has ended has reached, basically, so if the time that has occurred, so if the time has passed 5 seconds since we first started shaking the camera in this repeat loop, then the repeat loop is done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That makes sense. So if it's greater than or equal to jump scare time. I don't know if that makes sense. It is basically like simple math. So if the time has passed is greater than or equal to jump scare time, which is 5, then we end the repeat loop. And that's pretty much it. So now we can just set, we can also change, I forgot to change the lighting, so let's change the lighting too. So lighting, that color correction, that brightness equals 0.02 or negative 0.02. Okay, and then that's it. So now let's actually, so when this is done, of course, we want to set the camera back to normal. So the camera type equals enum. We don't need a repeat loop for this. Enum, the camera type, the custom. Because we're changing it to custom. When we're changing it from custom to scriptable, you kind of do need a repeat loop. I don't know why. It is what it is. Roblox is wacky. I mean, and then we change the lighting back to normal. Lighting dot color correction, or whatever you want your thing to be. Whatever you want, whatever is normal to your game, basically. And that should be it. That should be it. Okay. So we actually haven't even tested this game yet. We haven't even tested this game yet. So let's see how this works. So let's actually save this. Let's see how this works. Let's hope for the best, guys. Let's hope for the best. But basically, I think, okay, so if we go here, it'll follow us. Let's see what happens if it touches us. If this is reactive metal, it will touch us. Okay, yeah, it's facing the other direction, so let's see. Okay, let's rotate this. Well, also, if you want a, okay, let me show you. I'm sure. Let's see if this works first, and then we can add some sounds, some horror sounds to make it more alive. So let's see. So if it touches us, boom, it shows us the face of active metal. I don't think it's dark enough. Maybe what we should do. The brightness, let's do negative. Oh, this is nope, it's supposed to be 0.2. Whatever. Okay. Whatever. We made it a bit more darker. Now we're gonna add some sounds. So let's add a sound here. But not sound group. But actually, let's look at our toolbox. Now there is some good sounds that Roblox has added to the toolbox. Let's see. Let's go to sound. Now these are all royalty free, so should be all good. Let's add some sound effects here. So there's actually some, I think there's some good energy ones. I forgot where it was. I want like quick, horror. No. I don't know. There's no like good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Cloud computers, energy explosions. Why is that? Why is that our sound? I don't know, but you can basically get the idea. You can choose any sound you want, but I will show you how you can script it. It's pretty easy to do cold and play. I don't know. There's no good like. I don't know. Let me see. Energy. Cartoon. I don't think there's any good horror or jump scare. You can choose like a jump scare audio. Oh, that's funny. Let's insert this inside and put this inside the script that we just scripted. So paste into. Okay, so we're gonna be using this as our sound. So let's make a variable for it. So local sound equals script dot jump scare, and then we basically just play it. That's literally all we have to do. So sound play, and that's pretty much it. 1000 maybe is a bit too much, so we can actually change it if you want to make it more dramatic, the shake. Let me show you guys after. Boom. Yeah, let's make it like maybe 3 seconds. Let's make the jump scare time 3 seconds. And then for this, for the random values or random rotation values, we can make it less, like the division after the division sign. The number after that, that's like how much times you want it to decrease it by. So if you actually decrease the this amount, it'll increase the amount of the rotation value, the final rotation value. I don't know if it makes sense, but it's math basically. You get the math idea. Get the math. So basically, if you so if you decrease the amount that's being divided by, you increase the amount, you increase the final amount of the rotation value for all these values. So if I make this 500 instead of 1000, so if I make it, so if I make it divide by 500 instead of 1000, right? It will then make the shake a bit more dramatic than before. You'll see. Look at this. Okay, so if I get, so this is reactive metal. He's chasing me, and when he touches me, so as you can see, it's a bit more dramatic. Maybe you can't tell, but for example, if I make it like 100, or if I make it 50, right? If I make it 50, so if it's being divided by 50, it will be like really dramatic. You'll see. Okay. So reactive metal is chasing me, and when he touches me, oh god. Okay, yeah. As you can see, it's definitely more dramatic than before, for sure. But yeah, this is pretty much it for this tutorial. If you want more, comment down below what you want next. Definitely be sure to subscribe and like though. And yeah. So I hope you enjoyed. We're starting a Patreon soon for like some game files, scripts I can provide you guys from one-on-one help. I can help you guys too, support with your games and stuff, or for your tutorials, or like if you want help from my tutorials, then yeah, I can do like a one-on-one. I got chased again. Well, that's very unfortunate. But yeah, basically, yeah, that's it. So if you want more, be sure to like and subscribe. You can join our Discord if you want. What else? Yeah, we reached 1,000 subscribers. I mean, I think I already said that before, but whatever. Yeah. See you guys in the next one.